Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to World of Warships with Captain Chipmunk, although, to be fair, I should probably be more like Cabin Boy Chipmunk, considering my aptitude for the game, or experience with it. Anyway, yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. The one thing I wanted to mention, the USS Phoenix, if it eventually loads up in the dock, has really grown on me. When I first got my hands on, so this is the Tier 4 American cruiser. It's a light cruiser, so it's a big departure from the St. Louis at Tier 3. I've had an awful lot of fun in it. But when I first got it, I was really kind of underwhelmed, because you go from the St. Louis, which is essentially just a floating platform for all the guns in the world, and you get to this, and when this thing's stock, your HP, you go from almost like 30,000 HP to just under 20,000. Your firepower drops, everything drops, apart from the mobility. But when you've got this thing upgraded, it gets, I think it's 10 152mm guns, yeah, which is pretty shabby. Sorry, not too shabby. So you get a broadside of five guns, 1, 2, 3, 2 at the front, 1 midships, and 2 at the rear, 1, 2. So that's nothing to be sniffed at. You get torpedo tubes at the rear on each side. They're not great torpedoes, but it has torpedoes. It's very fast. It has a call ability that lets it temporarily increase its detection range. It's an awful lot of fun. Speaking of it being an awful lot of fun, I had this game. Now this is, I believe, the highest damage and highest experience game I've had so far. I didn't get any shiny battle awards or anything like that, but we did get, this was in the Phoenix, we did get 141,000 credits, 3,342 experience. It was damn good fun. We actually finished top of our team with 1,485 base experience, which was nice. I don't do this all the time by any stretch of the imagination. As I say, this is just a game I was kind of proud of, and ended up doing something like 60,000 damage, which was not too shabby. Some of you may be looking at this and going, yeah, so, but screw you, I was happy with this game. It was an awful lot of fun to play. Ended up being a base capture with the surviving enemy destroyer, whose name was Old Fart, which was brilliant. In a Clemson, he managed to get away and kill our aircraft carriers, and he started capping our base, so we just had to cap his faster, really. We couldn't catch him. The Phoenix is fast, but I wasn't fast enough to catch up with him at that point. Anyway, it was an awful lot of fun. Yeah, so... Phoenix and cruisers. Yay, cruisers and destroyers! Having a lot more fun in destroyers as well. And I've learnt a bunch of things after recording the previous video. So, for example, when you come to try and fire torpedoes, you get this little grey segment, which gives you an indicator that if you were to put torpedoes down that vector, they would stand a pretty good chance of hitting something if everyone kept sailing in the same direction and all that jazz. Which I'd never even noticed before. I've been trying to find these torpedoes completely blind, just trying to judge how much lead I think they need, which is why I'd been sucking so much with torpedoes. I didn't realise there was an aim guide. I mean, holy Christ, this completely revolutionised how I played destroyers, and it meant that I could actually play Japanese destroyers and not hate them. It was great, and no longer am I missing point-blank range torpedo spreads. I was wondering how everyone always hit me and I always missed them, and that's the answer. So yeah, torpedo guidance-y stuff. Also, learnt that you can get up different information about enemy ships by hitting the Alt key. Some of you may be thinking, how the hell did you not know that, Chipmunk? You can do that in World of Tanks, and you've played 20,000 games in World of Tanks. What the hell? Yeah, but I don't do it in World of Tanks. I have my default heads-up display, if you will, default display, to give all the information that I want. Rather than having to flip between it with Alt, I just could never be bothered. So now I've got World of Warships to do the same, which means that all the ships actually have names. Hurrah! Which is great, because I'm really not very good at recognising whether it's ship A or ship B. So that's nice. As Loki says, big ship, little ship, cardboard box. That's how I distinguish them. What else? Oh yeah, the Wyoming. I played the Wyoming in the last video. Since then, I have fully upgraded this thing, meaning that it now gets... How Anti-aircraft guns! Yes! Fear me! Yeah, he gets a bunch of like 12.7mm machine guns, 28mm cannons, 76.2mm. Holy crap, that's a big gun. That's like having a bunch of Shermans on the side of your ship shooting down aircraft. That's hilarious. Anyway, yes, I have. Yeah, hull-mounted Shermans. Or, you know, to be honest, let's be honest. The Phoenix has 10 hull-mounted KV-2s. So, you know. Anyway, and that's been massively valuable. You lose some of your secondary batteries, but I was having so many problems with this relating to aircraft, and this brings me on to the next point. I spent some time in the last video whinging and bitching and complaining about torpedoes and high explosive ammo. I have since come to the conclusion my problem is not with torpedoes and high explosive ammo, my problem is with battleships. And the St. Louis, which I appreciate is not a battleship. Chipmunk, what the hell are you talking about? Well, the thing is, so the problems I've been having was that torpedoes, torpedoes do vast amounts of damage if they hit you. And that was being a massive problem. But it's not really a problem that I generally have in either a cruiser or a destroyer, because generally speaking, in a cruiser or destroyer, unless you're horrifically distracted, at least if it's a ship-launched torpedo, you get a bit of warning, and hopefully you've got enough time to turn into or turn away from the torpedo spread and sail between the torps, taking no hits, or maybe taking a hit, you know. Whereas in a battleship, you need to have already predicted that there's likely going to be a spread of torpedoes in the water and already turned into those torpedoes in order to not just take 6 of them to your broadside and die. So it requires more forethought, which with my... How many games have I played? Profile. So this is just random games it's going to tell you. I have played... Where are they? 115 random battles. Fair enough. Don't pay too much attention to win rate and things like that. That's over such a small number of games at the moment, that it's basically insignificant. So yeah, battleships struggle in that sense. Also, the problem I was having with and continue to have with battleships is air-launched torpedoes. Why air-launched torpedoes? Well, the problem I've been having is that down at the lower tiers you have basically no AA capability, or very limited AA capability, which is why I'm so glad that my Wyoming now has its hull-mounted anti-aircraft Shermans. But it has meant that I've been in situations where you've got a squadron of torpedo bombers coming up on your broadside. You think, right, okay, fine, I'm going to turn into those so that those torpedoes don't just hit me in the broadside, and then you realise you have another squadron of torpedoes flying on a perpendicular vector to the first squadron, meaning that if I turn into the first squadron's torpedoes, I'm going to take the second squadron's torpedoes in the just in the broadside, and if I stay on my current course, I'm going to take the first squadron's torpedoes into the broadside. There's no situation where I don't get torpedoed to all hell. And I've been talking to some people about it, and well, some of you, Sam, for example, he's you'll have seen him in some of the replays, World of Tanks replays I've done. I sometimes platoon up with him, and I play World of Warships with him. And he said he was in the closed beta test of this game, and he said in his opinion, low tier battleships are kind of crappy, and the higher tier ones are better. The other problem I was having, of course, is with being set on fire by high explosive rounds. Again, this is not actually a problem I have that much in cruisers and in destroyers, because generally speaking your focus there is more on not getting shot. Whereas in a battleship you're kind of too big and lumbering to rely on not getting shot. So you kind of get shot and get set on fire, and then you think, well, I'm burning, I'm on fire, I put the fire out, damage repair, and then you get set on fire again. And it's like, well, what's the point of me having this armour if a St. Louis, and this is where we get onto the St. Louis, a St. Louis over there with its 10 million guns firing every 6 seconds is going to just spam high explosive at me and set me on fire. It completely renders my HP pool and my armour basically irrelevant. And I do think the St. Louis is overpowered, and I also don't like playing it. I find it boring as hell, so I just hate the St. Louis. But anyway, so yeah, they're kind of the problems I've been having with battleships, and I think part of it Well, so part of it is that other people seem to at least not disagree with me. In fact, apparently in the next World of Warships patch, they're giving battleships a wee bit of a buff, because the guns on a battleships are basically shotguns. They don't hit anything at long range, and even at close range you could fire and miss a load of your shots, which was frustrating. So they're increasing the accuracy at close range. I'm not sure it's going to solve all the problems, but it might make them a bit better. So, yeah. Oh, also I think it's partly mindset, because I was thinking, I'm in a battleship, I'm big and tough, my job is to take the hits for my team, as if it were a heavy tank in World of Tanks, and it's not. The distinguishing feature, really, between a battleship and a cruiser or a destroyer or something, is that a battleship gets massive guns that do vast amounts of damage if you can land those hits. So I think I need to kind of change my mindset in battleships a little bit, I guess. I also, as you may have noticed, unlocked the Langley. This is the Tier 4 American aircraft carrier. So I'm going to hopefully be trying that out. I've played one game in it so far, so make of that what you will. But we shall be trying that out. Have I rambled on long enough? Probably. I'm just going to play a couple of games. I'm going to play those games in... Firstly, we're going to take out the Kawachi. This is the Tier 3 Japanese battleship. Because, so my perspective is that if there's a particular thing you're bad at, and at the moment the thing I'm bad at appears to be battleships, do it more, then you become less bad at it. So, by that logic, we're going to take out the Kawachi. Also, because looking at the previous video, so far I've featured 3 American games, or 3 games in American ships and 1 in a Japanese ship. So, I feel it's overdue time we had a bit more Japan in the whole mix-up. So, without further ado, let's see how much I can suck in the Kawachi. And see how long it takes the matchmaker to find me a game. You are in queue for battle. Hurrah! It's a Tier 4 game. That's okay. You can work with that. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Oh, it's the single base one. Alrighty. And I do not want to sail through those straits, because that is just begging to get torpedoed. But I'm going to spawn over there, which is kind of irritating, but there we go. It's also possibly going to take an age to actually load up the map. We'll see. Yeah, so the thing is with this map, you've got this headland that pokes out, and if you go through these straits, you can almost be guaranteed there will be a destroyer, possibly a cruiser, maybe another destroyer who will just throw torpedoes down those straits. And in a battleship, you've got no room to maneuver, and you're just going to get shredded. So let's not do that. Instead, well, you can see that I haven't actually loaded up the map before everyone started moving, which is kind of irritating, but there we go. Instead, I'm going to try and sail around the other end of the map and not get torpedoed in the face. That sounds like an excellent plan from my perspective. Come on, game, load up the bleeding map. I want to play, you big meanie. Oh, there we go. Jolly good. Right. So one thing I noticed immediately with the Kawachi is that with the American ships, at the South Carolina and the Wyoming, all your guns are mounted down the centre, pretty much. Basically, all your guns can shoot in both directions. With the Kawachi, you've got front and stern guns. Is it stern? The arse of the ship. Front and rear guns that can shoot both ways, and then you've got other guns that can only shoot one direction or the other. Which, in a way, kind of works in your favour to a certain extent, because it means that if you want to reacquire a target on the other side of your ship, your other 2 gun batteries have less distance to traverse around to acquire the target. Why have I got HE loaded? Armour piercing. There's very little point firing these big old guns unless I'm going to spam AP at people's faces and giggle when I get citadel penetrations. What's the range on these guns? Haven't played this ship in a while. 9.8 kilometers. Okay. So just under 10 kilometer range, and now we have the ridiculously long period of time it takes in order for a battleship to find anything to launch these guns at. Well, not launch the guns at, that would be weird, but launch shells at. You know what I mean. Can you imagine if a battleship just launched the gun barrels at people? Hooah! Have a turret as well, fear me. So what we got? We got a Wakataki. That's a fun little ship, the Wakataki. I recently unlocked a bunch of Tier 4 Japanese machines, so I don't actually have the Wakataki anymore. That's the Tier 3 Japanese destroyer. Cruiser? I'm an idiot. So I'm now up to the... Is it the Isokaze, I think? I've been spotted! Well, yeah, I am in a battleship. That's generally what happens. You get spotted from a bazillion miles away. And hopefully we're going to make it over to that gaggle of enemy cruisers / battleships and shove a shed load of shots into them. I'm just turning away from... Nope, they appear to be going away from me anyway. I'm just keeping an eye on that torpedo squadron because I do not want to take torpedoes to my flank. That would make me rather sad. Oh, there's a destroyer over there, but I can't really hit him with this light mountain in the way, effectively. So yeah, you really do want to, especially in battleships, keep an eye on where the enemy torpedo bomber squadrons are and how likely it is that they're about to try and wreck your day. And if it looks like they're going to, then you want to turn into them, basically. To try and minimize the number of hits you're gonna take. So, hey, we shot a plane down. Woohoo! Can we shoot another one down? Come on! Enemy fighter, friendly fighter squadron nailed him. Can't really criticise that. That is part of what they are there for. You can also, it appears, well, I seem to have gathered, use your fighters effectively as scouts. If you're a carrier player. Carrier gameplay is weird, by the way. Ah! Phoenix is in range! Phoenix is in range! Prepare to bombard the Phoenix. He's behind a debris, which is kind of sad. But it looks like he's going to come around that headland, and when he does, I'm going to launch a whole world of pain into his face! Pain, 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 pain. Just try and get the range. Oh, he's dead. Oh, I got a citadel penetration. That's quite funny. South Carolina. He's not yet in range, and there are no torpedo bomber squadrons in my vicinity. Hurrah! Come on, little South Carolina. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to stab you and steal your stuff. He's almost in range. Come on. He's got torpedoes on him. Oh, he's not having a good day. Let's just try and judge the range to him. Oh, a bit too much lead. I still got a hit, though. Not for a huge amount of damage. That looks like it. Oh. Battleships, guns, accurate, they are not. Now I'm actually going to start turning. So I don't want to hit the map edge, that will leave me a bit of a sitting duck. Put that fire out. Repair that damage. Come on, this guy's almost down. Oh, there's a Kuma shooting me as well, which makes me sad. And I'm on fire again. Yay! Gotta love battleships. Is he gonna run aground? That would be hilarious. Ah, someone else gets the kill. Right, Kuma. As I continue to burn. Nah, he's get out of range, and I'm not going to load HE for him. Except he's going to keep shelling me, which makes me sad. I'm not going to load HE for him, because that would be completely reloading my guns for, like, ages. Nah, can't be bothered. Ooh, 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 if he comes around that headland, Mr. Kuma is in range. Alright, let's come around this headland and try and help out our Wakataki. Owie! Of course I'm on fire again. Why wouldn't I be on fire again? I'm in a battleship. Oh, there's an enemy Wakataki over there, so we do need to be careful. I do not want to eat torpedoes to the face. That would be quite sad. Ba-dum-bum-bum. There was a South Carolina around here. Oh no, the South Carolina has been taken care of. Okay. Don't have the range to hit the Kuma. Let that fire burn out, and then I'll hit damage repair. As the Wakataki just disappeared. I don't want that Kuma to shove torpedoes up my wazoo. That would make me very, very sad indeed. Ooh, Wyoming! Damage repair. Eat damage! Mwahahaha. Oh, this could hurt. I didn't realise his batteries were pointing this way. Owie. Owie. All of the owie. Mucho's owage. Ow indeed, my sphincter.
Problem solved, sir.
I mean, look at that. Look at where those shells landed. They were fired from the same bleeding turret. And the actual shells probably landed about a kilometre apart. Ridiculous. Oh, well. Oh, torpedoes in the water. He is having a bad day. Nah, I can't hit him from here. It's just this guy and the Wakataki. So if I can come around this headland and pump some shots into his bum, that will be good. Who's... oh, it's a Phoenix who's also engaging him. That appears to be the map edge. Wow. 3 mighty hits. Fear me. Actually, no, let's keep on this course and just go around the side of that headland just to keep the guns pointing at him. He's not concentrating on me, he's concentrating on the Phoenix. Now he has the definite firepower advantage over me, which is a little sad. Damage repair! Let's get as much health back as I can. I think I'm going to need it. Because we're closing to quite close range. Incoming torpedo bomber squadron onto his face. He's the last guy left. Come on. Ooh, Ooh, that's gonna leave a mark. But so is this. Ow. 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 And is that his secondary batteries? Probably. But I have friends! Can I reload the guns in time? My secondary batteries are opening up. I have the health advantage, incoming torpedo bomber squadron, and... Yes! The kill is mine! Fear me! Mwahahaha! So that game looks like it wasn't completely terrible. In the... What was I even in? The Kawachi, of course. So we got 23 hits on target, shot down one plane, which I don't think I've ever done in that ship before, one incapacitation, I think they changed the name, that used to be the critical hits, one ship destroyed and one citadel penetration. Okay, and we even completed a mission, heavy damage, so I think that's... Get 35,000 credits for causing 20,000 damage of any kind to enemy ships in one battle, so we did at least 20,000 damage, which is nice. We came... middle of the table. Alright, that's fine, I can work with that. Did 34,446 damage with our AP shells. Most of it to that Wyoming. There. Damage received, yeah, quite a lot. I did use all of my damage repair cooldowns. And credits and XP. Sweet. Awesome. Excellent. That was a success. My god, we actually had a successful game in a battleship? Steady on. That doesn't sound very likely. Have I unlocked the Myogi yet? No, nowhere near. Fair enough. Well, okay, so that was the Kawachi, the Tier 3 Japanese battleship. The next game I'm actually going to do in the Langley. Now, I've only had one game in an aircraft carrier thus far, and it was a co-op battle, and I'm going to do this again because I don't really know what I'm doing in aircraft carriers, and I don't want to inflict myself upon a team in PvP. So, let's take the Langley out for a sail. Oh, actually, before we do... No, my Kawachi captain hasn't got a new skill or anything. Okay. So, yes, the USS Langley. Have I got any modules to upgrade or anything? Nope. Okay. So, by default, you get one fighter bomber squadron... One fighter squadron and one torpedo bomber squadron on this ship. Now, upgrading the hull... Does that let you... gives you more aircraft. I think that just takes each of the squadron sizes from 5 to 6 or something. You can upgrade the fighter, that just gives you more aircraft, and you can upgrade the bomber. Yeah, so I'm not sure. Flight control, yeah. With the Langley, you can only have one fighter squadron and one torpedo bomber squadron. That's it. So you can't do kind of torpedo bomber perpendicular grid of death that I was describing earlier on, because you only have one torpedo bomber squadron. You can't do it on your own, at least. So yeah, this is a bot battle because, as I said, I don't want to inflict myself upon a team against real people. That seems rather harsh when I don't really know what I'm doing. But the Kawachi game was successful, so let's see if we can have some success in the Langley as well. That would be nice. The Langley does technically get some guns itself, but they're not guns that you really want to be using or paying any attention to. Okay, so... I'm going to sail the ship down here. Woohoo! Ba-dum-bum-bum. And we're gonna send out fighter squadron to basically do a scouting run, pretty much. And gonna send out a torpedo bomber squadron to get ready to nuke some guys, essentially. That's the plan.
Group 3 airborne.
So when you're playing an aircraft carrier, it's kind of like playing a real-time strategy game, if I'm honest. Whoops. No, autopilot it. I don't want to. I want to concentrate on what my dudes are finding. Oh yes, boys. You're gonna wreck that torpedo bomber squadron. 'Cause it's funny. What do we got over here? Chester. Ooh, Chester. So that was the... I decided to jump a... Ooh. Have to be careful about this.
Group 3, standing by for instructions. Over. Group 3, engaging enemy.
And so hopefully that will give the Chester a really bad day. So my torpedo bomber squadron... Oh, there we go. Yeah, that Chester's lost a lot of health. My my fighter squadron... My torpedo bomber squadron is coming back to me. And... yeah, my... fighter squadron is going to engage this torpedo bomber squadron, but it's going to try and do it away from the enemy battleships, enemy ships, because I don't want to be taking unnecessary flak. I mean, they only have one aircraft carrier, and it's probably a Langley. Yeah, so if I can... basically, it means this fighter squadron is keeping their torpedo bomber squadrons busy, which is nice. There we go. And we may well have saved our friendly Wyoming there. Oh, it looks like you can set your fighters to escort a ship, which is really awesome. I did not know that was an option. Sweet. That's really cool. Alright, so, yeah, let's just keep myself moving up here. Whoops-a-daisy. So my torpedo bomber squadron is currently rearming. And my fighter squadron is kind of giving this Wyoming an escort, which is nice. Now I assume there's a way to make your torpedo bombers drop a narrow spread of torpedoes rather than the wide one that appears to be the default, but for now I'm not going to worry too much about that. Send out the torpedo bombers again and see if they can hunt down another target. Now, scoreline is 3-3.
Maintaining present course.
Oh, there's that Chester. He's gonna love me, isn't he? See if I can nail that Chester. That would be quite nice. So, torpedo bombers are going to try and get this Chester from the flank.
Group target.
Torpedoes in the water. I might have launched them from a little far away, if I'm going to be honest there.
Group 3, returning to ship.
Yep. But it looks like that's going to be a pretty good torpedo spread. That Chester's having a bad day. Goodbye! There we go. Nailed their Chester. Ah! Oh! Enemy aircraft carrier has been spotted. I'm coming for you, bitch. Mwahahaha. So, as soon as my torpedo bomber squadron is back in action, they're going after the enemy. Oh, wow. Maybe they're not. It looks like that guy is getting absolutely... Oh, crud. His fighter squadron is a little bit more prepared for action than mine. So if I can bring his fighter squadron over toward the Wyoming, then the Wyoming's flak guns can help out, which would be nice. Langley's getting worked over anyway, so I'm not too worried about him. We've got the Myogi up here, who could do with being nailed, and a Wyoming, who could also do with being nailed. So, torpedo bomber squadron are out again. Yeah, just leave the Langley to its own devices for now.
Group 3, airborne.
And see if I can nail one of these battleships. That would be nice. Preferably without nailing some friendlies, so I think I might go for this Wyoming instead of the Myogi. But we'll see how it goes. Scoreline is 5-3. We should win this. But nonetheless, I'm going to keep trying and see what we can do. There's the Myogi. See if I can make this run much closer. Oh no, I don't want to accidentally hit our Wyoming. That would be bad. Or our Chester. That would... Oh, he's getting absolutely wrecked. Okay. Oh no, actually. No, don't like that. That's too risky. You're going to come up here and do something about this Wyoming. That's what you're going to do.
Group 3, standing by for instructions. Over.
Oh, come on. I don't want to nail our friendly Wyoming is the thing.
Group 3, awaiting instructions. Group 3.
Oh, he's too close. God damn it.
Over.
Oh, this is the last guy left.
Group 3, awaiting instructions. Group 3, standing by for instructions.
This is really awkward because I don't want to hit our friendly Wyoming.
3, awaiting instructions.
It's too close. Ah, screw it. Unlikely to hit the friendly Wyoming. The enemy Wyoming's pretty much dead anyway. Probably hesitated for too long, but I was really paranoid about hitting one of our friendlies.
Engaging enemy.
That would be such a sad turn of events. Anyway, torpedoes in the water. And hopefully this enemy Wyoming is about to have an incredibly bad day.
Group 3, returning.
Oh, we didn't get the kill or anything. That's a shame. Oh well. There we go. We managed 4 torpedo hits in total, wrecking that Chester, and shot down 10 enemy torpedo bombers into the bargain, and got some flooding. So, it was alright. We finished 3rd in XP on our team, and we survived, which is nice. We did 213 damage from flooding, almost 15,000 damage from torpedo hits. There's no entry for... Oh, we shot down 10 enemy torpedo bombers, but I've no idea how much XP that generated. Ooh, perhaps we can find out. Credits, blur, auto repair, auto resupply, total... No, it doesn't break it down. So I don't know how much XP you get for shooting down planes, but nonetheless, that didn't end up going too badly. Hurrah! Success. So there we go. That was an outing in the Langley. Have I got enough? The problem with co-op battles, of course, is they don't really generate much experience, which is meh, kind of annoying. I can see why, but I will do a few more co-op battles in the Langley before I set forth into the big, wide, scary world of random battles. Yeah, but it's the aircraft carrier gameplay is very different because you're kind of playing a real-time strategy game rather than a like first or third person ship combat DACA game. But I'm okay with that. I think they've actually implemented aircraft carriers in quite a neat way. I don't really see how else they could have done it, so I'm okay with how they've been implemented. I'm totally okay with that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that third outing of World of Warships as I try to get to grips with capital ships rather than escorts. And hopefully in the next video I'm hoping to show you some gameplay from some more Japanese ships, because I haven't shown as many Japanese ships so far. So I might go for the Isukaze and the Kuma, the Tier 4 destroyer and cruisers for the Japanese, or something like that. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my others and or subscribe to my channel. And I wish you very, very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.